get into the Toolbox, but first off, we'll do a couple of welcomes. So you might see a few new faces around this morning. So I'd like to welcome Nolan and Tiff, our two first-year apprentices. So they've been down at the training centre for the last 3 weeks. It's their first day in the depot today. So make them feel welcome, get around and introduce yourselves. Make them feel part of the team. We've also got one other one. This fellow, not a new face, started last Monday down at St Mary's. So Josh Blanks has returned after less than 12 months stint at Sappin. So welcome back, Joshy. And I always forget, but thanks to Bruce and all the chefs for cooking this morning.
Thanks, Rand. So, kick off Toolbox. So, no birthdays coming this week. We got Junior with his 2-year anniversary. So, well done, Judge, for hanging around. Positive recognition. So, Hussey's just sent through a few words from a job last week. So, shout out to Junior, Jake Francis, Sarah Liam on a job last week. Seemed like we're up against it in the morning with a relatively complex switching sheet and not much ready to go. Crew's pulled together and smashed the job out. Jake Francis used great initiative by prepping the switches while we were switching. Sarah stepped up to run the works, getting everything organised, doing a great job of the switching checker. So excellent feedback, thank you Hussey. And guys, just keep sending that stuff through, it's great to hear. And yeah, they smashed on the site, so well done. Switching, so 869 days. We've got one mentor here. Anything you want to just add, Sebi, for?
Yeah, just in the switching world, there has been a bit of a challenging start to the year, so just take the time to, if you get that voice in your head that I think, I thought, or that idea that maybe something isn't 100% right, just take the time there to refresh, reframe and go through in a bit more of a confident fashion. It's just been a bit of a challenging start in terms of switching for the year. That's not just Ennivan, but that's the organisation as a whole. So yeah, just keep an eye on each other and make sure we're aware of what we're doing and what it's going to be doing for the network when we do it.
Thanks, mate. Lucy on switching too, so just want to pass this around. So it's the e-drawing of the operation for 11 kV gang isolator vertical single brake, air brakes. So again, Hussey, I think you're all over this Toolbox this morning, but he picked this up late last week in regards to using an air brake as an isolation point. So in short, if an opening of the gang switch does not approximately reach vertical, stop switching, contact knock, and discuss the next steps. Basically, if it's not 100% open, it can't be used as an isolation point. If it's below, picture will explain a lot better. I'll pass it around, but basically it has to be open vertically to be able to use for isolation and open points. So Hussey picked one up which was sitting at approximately less than that, and judging by the pictures, like it doesn't give a degree angle as such, but yeah, it couldn't be used as an open point or an isolation point, so the job couldn't proceed. So
For out the field or only for some stage?
Out in the field, mate. So it was actually, yeah, it was new to me as well. Yeah. So, no, it was a good pick up. So, just pass around a brief. Any questions, see the back and we'll follow it up.
Yeah. Just got a bulletin on the personal protective, so the FR PPC. So this has been sent out by the business. So we recognise that the rollout of the new fire-resistant personal protective clothing requirements combined with our first summer in the new garments has raised concerns among employees, particularly regarding breathability, heat retention and skin irritation. Whilst these issues have been proactively addressed, we acknowledge that there is more that the business can do. And as we continue to receive feedback, this feedback is important to assist us with addressing these concerns, enhanced communication and consultation whilst we continue to maintain our FRPPC safety standards. Throughout the implementation phase of the long policy, the PPC committee has met regularly to review feedback, assess potential improvements, and work closely with individuals who have experienced FRPPC related issues. Further, we have met with the CEPU and are working with them. As a result, the following measures will be implemented. So, an advisory panel comprising of 6 employees from operations who wear their FRPPC will be established. This panel will be supporting the ongoing trials, including any adjustments to the design features of the FRPPC and providing feedback to assist with resolving concerns. 3 nominees have been provided by the CEPU and an additional 3 to be identified to participate by SA Power Networks Group. So the aim is to have this panel in place by early March with regular communication shared back through operational teams, including how the issues are being dealt with. So to deal with these issues at the moment, there's 2 options. So addressing the local FRPPC concerns. So to address immediate concerns, leaders have basically been advised that there's 2 options. So option 1 is to use the FRPPC overalls that we used to use, so use those full time as an alternative to issuing FR shirts and pants. If this is not successful and there are concerns, then there's option 2. So option 2 is, so there's a range of different brands that we can try out. I think a few blokes in the depot have already gone down that road of trying different brands and styles. So I won't go through all of that. I think if you are having concerns with what you've been issued, then come and talk to your leaders, and we'll start exploring other options, especially if it's skin irritations. Yeah, Nick?
So I'm one of the ones on the 6 on the panel. So if anyone's got any issues, send me an email, get it to me in writing, I'll take it there and work it out from there.
Cool. Thanks, Nick. So yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say also, because it's somewhat, well, it is related. I've got a pair of pants, 97R, and a 2 extra large shirt that come from Jono and Safety Branch. They're a different brand. I can't recall exactly what brand, but they're what they use at BHP up in the mine. So if anyone fits that size range, please come and see me. I wouldn't mind. Oh yeah.
Is anyone spoken to Powercore? Well, because obviously they're our sister company in Victoria. They've got an unbelievable range of FR material. Like they got like undershirts and stuff like that. They're allowed to wear around the depot. And
I believe they engage with a whole heap of DNSPs, to be honest, Richard.
yeah,
Powercore specifically.
Well, Powercore, because we're owned by the same owner, you think we'd have a bit of chat. Yeah.
Not sure. Might be something Nick can check with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if that is you, Nick, maybe.
They've got some really good gear. Like when we went with them the other week, like their undershirts are like really like almost like microfiber style, and yeah, really good. So nice and breathable.
Send that through to Nick.
Yeah.
Good start.
So yeah, don't be scared to speak up, guys. I'm just reading below here. There are other options that have been pretty successful, especially people that have been suffering from skin irritation. So don't feel like you've got to keep bashing through and hopefully it'll go away. There are other options that we can try and hopefully, you know, the skin irritations will go away, or you'll find something that works. So yeah, don't feel like you've got to sit there and keep battling through it. There are definitely other options. So where to from here? So basically, at the moment, until we get this committee set up, keep raising your concerns with your leaders. Try out the new PPC. Yeah, basically, we're just going to keep working through it and try and find something that works for everyone and keep everyone happy. All right. So yeah, that's all I had on that.
Cool. Thanks, Joshy. What are we up to?
Oh, hey, sorry, Smitty.
If I just talk to that a little bit, the advisory panel is something that we took to the business as a proposal, right? Because there was so much going on with this clothing. Clothing was causing heat-related stress and rashes. I went and had a meeting with safety. They said we've got controls in place. What do you need to control? Someone tell me why you need to control. Because of a hazard. So you need to control for a hazard. But what we've found is they've introduced a new hazard to the workplace, which is the tie-toe woven potted clothes, and in the summertime there's no extra hazard control for that extra hazard. So I went in with a proposal that their committee that they currently have has no one on it that wears FR clothing at all.
All works in the field.
Correct. So they're all office-bound people that don't need to wear it. my proposal was let's get an advisory board made up of guys like Nick that go in and meet and give the feedback straight to the committee through us, so we have all the oversight. And I've accepted that. I've got the 3 names for the business on Sunday, on the weekend, and the board will be set up. It's a really big step forward for the clothing. I know it's been a pain in the ass, but it is still a trial. So they have to try different colours. I know the blues on the pants get to quite a high temperature in the sun. They're going to try different colour blues, lighter colour clothing. My proposal is that if you're not working live, you wear lighter, more breathable clothing. And you know if you're working live because it tells you on the whiteboard if you're working live, right? Or you always keep your overalls in your bag. Hopefully we get to a place where everyone's comfortable with it and we can move forward. But the shirts and t-shirts, shorts and t-shirts are gone. You won't see that back. But if we can get lighter clothing to work through, that'll be a good outcome for us, I think, in this matter.
So we got some ops findings from last week. So lots of issues we encountered on a job last week that led to a customer complaint. So reviewing some of the findings, and if any relates to your role, acknowledge them and put a plan in place to address them moving forward. This isn't about finger pointing, so it's a huge thanks to everyone for pulling together and getting the job done and getting over the line first and foremost. Special shout out to Des for stepping in and picking up the folder without being asked. We're just identifying areas for improvement so we can minimise these issues in the future. So in the morning we had a delay. A delay in the morning because of the Toolbox culture survey and site pass requirements, which delayed the briefing to 8 a.m. So there's an action item here. We got review the day's work and identify if a long toolbox will impact the day's work. Briefing and job folders issues. So the TSW6 that the folder issue was with was 6th of the day. Des ran the briefing. Job folder wasn't quite prepped as it should be, leading to missed details. So reinforce the folder preparation and briefing expectations with that one. Equipment availability. So half the gloving gear was still at the test lab. No one was answering calls to confirm if crews could collect it. So we need to identify equipment before the day, raising any issues nice and early in the piece. Resident complaint and notification process. So address concerns about driveway blockage and lack of notice. Review current notification procedures and door knocking expectations. So team members to door knock when needed to notify customers for blocking driveways or anything impacting the access to the property. De-escalation strategies. So discuss handling frustrated residents professionally. Reinforce these practices for managing on-site complaints and discuss these points at the next toolbox. So what we're raising now, what are some people's strategies for managing people on site, customers, keep people in the loop? Anyone want to jump in? No? Just make sure we're approaching customers and being extra courteous. If we're blocking driveways, if we need access to their property, make sure we are contacting them, we're door knocking them and let them know what we're doing for how long. Approaching in this manner, they're quite accommodating. They want to move a car out, they'll move a car out. We'll make it well known to, we're here, we'll stop, we'll get out your way. If anyone else got any other strategies or any other tips, please, share them with the group.
Hey Nick, it's probably worth noting I was out there on that one, and old mate, he wanted to come into our work zone and he crossed our red rope. We were doing glove and barrier. Just make sure you take control of the site. I asked the gentleman to, hop back behind the rope before I dealt with him, and so just, think of their safety as well as being courteous. You have got a site to run. You're in control of that site, and make sure that you treat it appropriately. So, that's another point to note on that.
I think what we've got here is we don't have enough meters out on site to manage all that. So, say if I get sent out as a TSW5, I'll be looking after my truck. I've got my apprentice up in the air, which needs direct supervision. So as soon as I'm looking after the apprentice, that takes my vision and attention away from, dealing with customer related issues or got to move that truck and all that. So I think we need like a separate 5 who's not on a truck that day, who looks after the bigger projects. That's what they got in PowerCall. That's what they got in SA Power. They have a 5 that's not necessarily part of the truck. They drive in their own ute and they're managing the work site.
So I guess in the instance that we had, Nick was the safety observer on the glove and barrier.
Yeah.
And I guess whether it's any instance, as the leader, you can stop the work, make the site safe for a few minutes while you go and talk to the lady or gentleman. So understand there probably are scenarios where an independent person is required, but as a leader on site, feel free to stop your work, go address the issue, and then resume the work. So that's, as a leader, you've got control of that.
Was Nick the safety observer?
Nick was the safety
and the leader on site.
And the leader on site.
So
yeah.
what needs to happen is there needs to be demarcation, separation from that. You can't have a safety observer also being a leader on the site. You can't do both things at the same time. I think it even says it in the GMB manual.
Yeah, GMB terms, don't you?
With the first job done, GMB, usually we have an apprentice on site as well. Usually I'll just sort of delegate to the apprentice when they're working and get them to work with traffic control, make sure no one comes to the site. So whoever's on the ground can safety observe.
You can't. You shouldn't. You should have your safety. Safety observer should be a GMB operator. It doesn't necessarily have to be in charge, but they just watching the task. Something like footy could do. Jump in a white vehicle, watch the lads do their job. He's a glove and barrier. I don't know if he still needs ticket or not. Probably doesn't anymore. But it can be a designated separate task. And I think it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the manager said it's like if you're a safety observer, that's all you are. You're a safety observer. You can't do anything.
Same at substation. You can't have a site leader as a safety observer unless he's just being a safety observer and he hands the reins over and someone else becomes the site leader.
Is that not what was just said? Like, I 100% agree with you. You cannot be you cannot be organising a job while doing safety. And I think the point was, at that moment, as the safety observer, if you're aware of something else coming on, you stop the work. The work is therefore stopped, and therefore that safety. You're not safety observing anymore because the work stopped. Deal with the person of step out of the site, please. And once that's done, then you get back to safety. Look, I just want to make sure
You're going to be doing that all day.
But that exact scenario is what should happen, because the safety observer's job is to look after the ground and approach distance barrier as well as what's upstairs.
That's right.
That's part of it.
So as soon as someone's talking to them, they should be in the middle of the site, not anywhere near the outside of the site running things. As soon as someone goes, oh, excuse me, you're watching them like that. As soon as
Yeah, they can't be that person.
you can't be that person.
Yeah, each job's different. Each job has different.
Yeah, 100%. But it's no different to you're sending us out at the moment. We say you've got a young crew, say tree cutting for instance, or something like that, and we're running the site, making sure that the people upstairs are doing that. Even though it doesn't say it in any manual, like the GMB manual says it, it's still got the same ethos or same. Yeah, it's just exactly the same. You can't be doing the same. Yeah, your safety observer. So I think at the moment we don't have enough experience. We've got a lot of doers, but not many people just running sites and such.
I think we're just going to be confident that everyone is doing their role, and I guess if you're the safety observer of site, you've got to utilise other people around you, like traffic controllers, for instance, delegate the task, make sure they know that they have to keep people out of sight if they can't.
Another thing I've noticed is
Pull it out.
usually we're getting 2 traffic controllers for shutdowns and roads. Seem to be only getting 1 now, and it's hard when you've got like a footpath. You're getting a lot of 3 traffic, a lot of jobs. So, and it's with the numbers, it's really hard to control the people going into the drop zones and stuff like that. That's another thing I've noticed of late as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess give that feedback back.
Yeah.
Like I said, every job's different. I mean, we put on the traffic controllers to tell us what they need for sites. They're the experts, but if it's not right.
Because usually we use like one each side, but lately it's only been one, and they can't
Yeah, I
manage.
get that. You can't control pedestrians if there's only one there.
Bring us the feedback, Richo. I think it's the first time I'm hearing it personally, so
Yeah.
we can have a chat on what we're booking with the guys and staff and make sure we've got adequate, at least traffic control to manage pedestrians on site. And if there is a safety issue with people who've said stop work, we'll have to address it.
Yeah.
And as far as the resourcing for jobs, it's going to be case by case, and things change on the day, so we'll have to assess that on the fly, really.
I feel like
feedback
as
is
a
the only way
five,
to
I feel like I'm working as hard as I've ever worked. You know, like I'm going like a blue ass fly at the moment. So.
Thanks, Richard.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for chatting.
Sorry, guys. For
No, it's-
jacking up, but I was just thinking, you know, it's hard yakka at the moment as a fly. So.
All right, just to finish off, so just some general depot. We've awarded some some successful TSW 6 positions. So congratulations to Chris and Des on their. Friendly reminder to all crews that material need to be returned to the bay after the job completion. Not too sure of any details of that one.
It's been brought up many times, guys, like especially jobs that run over multiple days. If you don't use the material for that day, obviously that material's got to be used at some point. So just best for everyone if it goes back to where you found it in that bay, because that bay is allocated to that job. So if other crews are, on that job in a few weeks' time, at least they know where the material's got to be. We're not wasting time in the morning hunting through the stores to see if it's there or it's left on someone else's truck. If it's for that job and it doesn't get used on that day, it needs to go back in that bay. If the job's completed, you took to your 6 and everything's signed off, done and dusted, I reckon we can Damo set up some pallets in there for all leftover store. If it's major materials, obviously you need to go back against the job. But if it's just small bits and pieces, they can be put on pallets in there, and Damo can push them back into our stores and we'll have them for other projects. All right, needs to happen. It's just we're losing a lot of time. People racing around the depot looking for stuff that's not there or things have gone missing. It's a pretty important part of projects. All right.
And lastly, so reminder, we need to be completing our pre-start for the forklift every day. Pre-start hasn't been done for the first 4 days of last week. So non-negotiable, guys. Every time we jump in that forklift, make sure we're checking it, we're doing the pre-starts, and it's all compliant. All right, it needs to be ticked off and checked every time before use. Make sure it's safe. All right. That's a hard life. It's a very busy machine, so we want to make sure it's safe to operate. All right.
Just one more thing I've been asked to bring up by a few of the guys. We had a lot of issues in the past with people taking things from trucks, not returning them, not letting the truck owner know where it's gone. It's getting back to how we were before, all right? It needs to stop. There's nothing wrong with borrowing materials or tools and equipment. If you're going to borrow it, either phone call, message the owner of that truck, let them know what you've borrowed. Make sure if you do borrow something, it goes back on that truck that afternoon, all right? Worst case, leave a post-it note on the steering wheel, what you've taken, where you've taken it, all right? We get a lot of sixes that look after their trucks and they're losing their shit because they come back in the morning and we've had night crews and things are missing off their trucks are left like bombs hit it. It's not good enough. There's guys here that put a lot of effort and pride into their trucks, all right? Respect it. Return it how you found it. Clear?
Right, one from me. So we've got a new strategy that we're putting forward to try and reduce TRIFR. So first of all, does everyone understand what TRIFR is? So TRIFR is total recordable incident frequency rate, and they're made up of lost time injuries, medical treatment or return worker cases. So some background, we performed pretty badly last year. I haven't actually got the numbers of what DS did, but end of an overall was 12.7. I reckon we had a target of 9 last year, and if we take DS out of those numbers, the TRIFR across the business is actually 8.54. So it beat that target of 9 if I'm correct in saying that. So Yeah, so our TRIFR was up around the 50 mark. Now I don't know the exact calculation how TRIFR's worked out, but it is a calculation on hours worked and then those incidents that I spoke about having. So this year already we've had one of those cases, so our TRIFR's sitting at 140 at the moment, so that's obviously quite negatively affecting the businesses overall. Yes, it's the start of the year, the hours are quite low, so that's why that number is so high. But the we're taking a different approach. Like previously we've done things like this with Toolbox and we've talked about it, but the message just doesn't seem to be getting through. We're picking small things up out on site, myself, Jules, Matt, whoever else is going out on site, we're picking up small little PPE non-conformances along with some other non-conformances as well. So what we're doing now is there's going to be a targeted lessons learnt approach for everyone, all leadership levels, in any non-conformance that we find that could have led to an injury basically. So if we're out on site and we see you're not wearing your glasses and you're using a grinder or something silly like that, you're going to end up in the office within two to 3 days of that happening, and it'll be from Jules down, all leadership, myself, Renzi, 8, 6s and the 4As out on site. And the idea is to just get together, really unpack it, and understand where we went wrong and how we can get better. How can we improve going forward? So
Will we be doing this during business hours, like our business hours?
it'll be done probably outside of ours, so it's not going to affect the work plan. So
It'll affect our lives?
correct,
Yeah,
yeah,
great.
yeah, and mine and Jules and everyone that's involved. So it's easy for you guys and girls. Just comply with the rules that we set out, and you won't have to be put in this room. Unfortunately for me, I've got a higher chance of being there, and rightly so, because I've got to make sure I'm setting the direction for my team and keep everyone safe. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. We just want to keep people safe. We don't want to have injuries. We don't want to hurt people. So if you do find yourself in one of these meetings, just please come with an open mind and a constructive attitude towards it, because at the end of the day, we want to learn. So that'll be happening. From that, we will get some actions out of it, and then we'll share those actions back with the team in a forum like this. So if you are invited to one, you need to make yourself available. And like I said, just be constructive.
What have we got things on, like picking kids up and stuff like that?
Sorry, can I just step in there? Just following on from what Cam said, so what we're... Sorry, I'm going to come over this way so I can address you all. What we're trying to do is just change the thinking. I'm going to come on to your point in a minute. It's not a persecution, it's not a grilling, but it is meant to make us uncomfortable. It's meant to make me uncomfortable. I started the one on Friday. It's meant to Jules uncomfortable. It's meant to Cam, because something is clearly going wrong in how we are applying our approach to safety. Something is, we are missing the mark. So I want to get uncomfortable, and I want to try and understand why we're missing these lead indicators that will end up coming on, will create an incident. So the TRIFR is an industry standard. We are 5 times what an average business would want to break. We have 5 times as many incidents as what an average business would want to attack. If that is not making everybody in this room worry as a lead indicator of something big's coming, then we're in the wrong business. That's why we're looking at it. 5 times more likely to have an incident that's going to put someone in hospital.
Then who? So is that
The industry.
There's other power one.
Yeah, across the industry. Yeah.
Is that because we do 5 times more work than SA Power?
No, because it's not SA Power. This is industry. This is across the board. So, in terms of, like I said, it makes us uncomfortable. We had a good conversation on Friday. It made us uncomfortable. On a lot of thinking over the weekend. I had a catch up with a couple of guys this morning. There is stuff that we need to do as a business. There's stuff that we need to do as a business on from how we set you up. There's some stuff we need to do as a business from how you're delivering the work in the field. Part of what we've done with this leadership training is trying to change the way we operate in the field. We're now just trying to bring this all together. So I'll not apologise for actually making us uncomfortable and going through this scenario and truly getting the learnings, because I'm a little bit tired of we all stand in a room and we go, hey guys, everyone wear the PPE, and everyone, yeah. And then we go out in the field and no one's wearing it. Because, again, we're not going to be that far away from an eye injury, losing a finger, losing a hand, hearing damage, all the rest of it. All these lead indicators, there's something else significant going on. In terms of in terms of your family.
Yeah, we'll just
Like, no, I think it's a fair point. It's a fair point. It's a fair point because my family. Because I also got home late Friday because we carried on after the guys left. We carried on for a bit longer and tried to work a few things out. I'll tell you the conversation I had with my son because they were all having dinner when I walked in and I missed out on a few things. Why are you late, Dad? I'm late because I'm trying to get someone to follow their safety, like wear their safety kit at work. The look on their face, and my wife's face and my kids' face, like, well, why aren't they wearing it? I don't know. And I will happily sit there all night, if I need to, in order to get to the point where we are better as a business the next day. So I apologise to your family, or everyone's family, whoever is going to be late if we've got to do this, but I will not apologise for trying to drive it that we are actually just complying with our systems and processes that makes us safe. Because that's all we're trying to do. You got all the kit, all the equipment, all the education, all the knowledge. All we're asking you to do is we're just trying to ask the right questions now to find out why we're not doing it. And I'll apologise to each and every one of your families in advance. But and I'll do that now. But I'd rather have that conversation than bringing them up when you're in hospital.
And this is our initiative that we've come up with. If you've got something better that you want to share, or how you think you can improve the culture, bring it to us. We're all ears. This is about as a collective how we do this. My other approach is to bring in the unions and ask them to help us out. That's why Jace is here today, because we need him on board. We need you on board because we're on board. That's what we're saying.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for putting the barbecue on for me. Appreciate it, finally. I agree, mate, we need to talk about it. Safety is union business, always has been union business. I sit on the board of PEER, which is a GTO RTO, Melbourne Park, Paul Road. Every year, the PEER Awards on Friday night, I attended with the Skills Minister and the Minister for Training, Blair Boyer. Every year we give away a trophy, it's called the Alex Rath Memorial Trophy for Safety. Every year that goes to someone who's excelled in safety. And that's an apprentice, right? First, second, third or fourth year. Alex Rath's parents front up every year for 5 years and they've presented this trophy to a young person who's entered into our industry. This is our industry. It's not Edmonds, Sappins, City House, this is our industry. Every year they have to go through the trauma that they lost their son on a work site because of an unsafe work practice. And he now is remembered in a memorial. And they present that and they cry. Every single fucking year they cry because of that. Because he died. And he's an apprentice on a work site as an electrician. We went into the ceiling space of a wall, of a house, to do some work. Figure, oh mate, just get it done, it's nearly 4 o'clock. And it was live. And he got caught, and he got stuck, and he got electrocuted. And they had to remove the roof to get him out. So that's not a 3-minute job, right? Don't go up through a manhole with a stretcher. They had to remove the roof of that building to get him out of that building. So it's affected everybody. So every time that award is given out, every year a peer, I'll think about his parents, about who he could have been, his workmates, his girlfriend, and everyone else has suffered because of that one action of, well, let's just get it done rather than how can we get it done safe. So safety business is union business and always will be. And we're here to stand with you guys to make sure that you go home every night, the same way you come to work. And I'm sure you want to do the same, yeah? That's it. Let's be safe. Let's do the things we need to do that might take 30 seconds, 1 minute to do to make sure that your kids see you again. Thanks.
Anything else from the group, guys?
I think it's a great initiative, but I just don't think it should be done out of.
You're getting remunerated for it. Like it's not like you're coming in. We're paying
It's
you.
not voluntary though. Overtime's voluntary.
No,
You
I
can't be
understand
forced.
that. But applying or complying to PPE, I'll do you a deal. If you never want to come in, follow your systems and processes, wear all your safety kit that's provided for you,
Always.
and do what. Then we've got no problems. The bit is like what we're refusing to do as a business, and this is collective as a business, we've got to this point where we're comfortable and we want to take that step over, because stuff's still happening. I've got traffic management being refused or not being used. We've got PP not being used. We've got systems in process. Every switching incident I have, but not every one, I'm going to go 90% of them, switcher and checker not doing their jobs. We keep having these same incidents and we keep going, hey guys, can we make sure we do switching and checking? Can we make sure we do traffic management? Can we make sure we wear PP? And then we walk out and we feel good about ourselves. And we give ourselves a pat on the back because we raised it in Toolbox. Yet we have another one. And then we have another one. And then we raise it again and we keep doing it and we keep doing it. And we're in this cycle of nothing's improving. And I don't want to break that cycle by having an incident where someone didn't get to come home that night. Where I've got to look at someone else's parents who every year come out and create another award. I don't want to go through that. I don't know how to ask, beg, encourage, plead. We're giving you every opportunity to slow down, wear the PPE, follow the systems and processes. I'm just asking you to do what you're paid to do. I'm asking you to use the systems and tools and the equipment that we're giving you to do. I get it if it was the other way. I'm 100% with you. I'd be Jason would kick me in the arse. If I was the guy going, go up in the roof, it's 4 o'clock, just get it done, she'll be right. Quite rightly, you'd be kicking my ass from here to there. I'm not that person. I'm going the other way, and yet I still can't get you across the line. So I'm going to try something. And if it works, great, and we move on and grow. And if it ceases to work, we'll try something else. And like Jill said, this is just our suggestion. If you can come up with something else where we get people, everybody as a group, following the systems, processes, plans, and doing what we're paid to do and doing what we're trained to do, happy days, I will take it on board. If you got me and said, Matt, interpretive dance, do interpretive dance, I'd get up here and dance for you. Because I care that much about getting this right.
I can bring back my 10 award is get $100 for safety voucher.
I'm not paying you for safety, you're already paid for safety.
Oh, you're paying for us after hours for safety?
No, I'm paying you to educate. That's an education. You're paid, we're not going to reward safety, we're paid. Yeah? We've got to sit there and drive, and this is everything that you're paid for already. This is just asking you to comply with what you're paid for to do. That's it. I don't know how to show I care anymore. You know, because I genuinely want this to happen. And I don't know what the barrier is. So this is part of this session is just help me understand what that barrier is to stopping us as a team, as a collective, as a group, taking that line and actually just doing what we're paid to do.
The outcome on Friday, I think everyone.
Yeah. So I think I had a chat with the guys and went really good because there was actually some really good things that came out of it.
I didn't know that we had to follow up on like single crews wearing their PPE, that was on them.
No, yeah, it's that bit. I think there's so. This is the good. This is what makes me uncomfortable as well, because there's stuff in there where I've gone. Well, actually, yeah. Maybe there's a gap in our education a little bit. So some stuff that sits with what you can control on site. There's a bit of a gap in our education. So we've got to, and this is that collective bit of how we educate ourselves and make ourselves, everyone, uncomfortable to go. It ain't you, it ain't me. It's a collective where there's some stuff to work on.
Matt, that's why everyone in the leadership chain is involved in the process. We're not isolating anyone. Yes, the individuals who are involved in it will be, but every individual involved in that leadership chain up to myself is part of that decision tree.
Because there's a breakdown. There's a breakdown somewhere happening. We're just trying to work out where it is.
Yeah, this is not shared.
Yeah. Look,
Push aside and then none of the rest of it.
Yeah. No. The plan is to get out there and talk about it. So we'll do that. There's some one or two really good things that you can put in place fairly quickly. So
Expect it in the next Toolbox.
Quick one is that last year there were 15 people with significant enough injuries at the end of 2024 that some of them have got to have ongoing physio, or have got scars, or have broken bones, or have strained muscles that will probably keep them grief for some period of time. And we're working and we're getting the rehab and we're doing what we need to do, but that's 15 people across our business that were significantly injured at some point, which isn't great. I think the other side of it is the long
yeah, look, we'll keep going. We'll see what games, and if it doesn't work, we'll change it, try something else. But we won't stop trying.
Can I just do one last thing, please? Culture survey. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a spruik while I'm here. We've had about 35% overall across the business, which is really good for the first week. I know you had the prezzo last week. Yeah, so you know what it's all about. Each of you have got a unique link, so if you haven't completed it and you're getting reminders, that's why. We've been pretty clear about how it's anonymous. But I think what's really important is to mention that there's a couple of things that came out of the last culture survey that we did that this group actually initiated as well. So things like the Good Thanks trial that you're doing came out of the culture survey. The N-Event Hub, we didn't have that before, so the previous one that we did in 2023, a lot of the feedback was around, we want to have our own communication channels, we want to hear what's going on in our business and see what's happening in the other departments, so that's come from there. Recognition programs, and looking at different ways to celebrate the good work that we do, that's all come out of the culture survey. The other part of it is this year we've got an initiative around a couple of people strategies. So again, development opportunities, performance, reward recognition. To develop those programs, we want to hear from you about what you want. So that's your opportunity. The feedback survey is exactly that. It's also a good way for us to hear what's good in the business. So if you weren't going to complete it because you're like, I'm happy, I'm fine, I don't have anything to say, we want to hear that too. Because we need to develop ways to attract people into our business going forward as well. So really encourage you to use it for the good of the business and that you get your voice heard. I think we've been pretty clear around what the process is. If you've got any questions around it or if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're not too sure, I'm happy to answer those. I think as a bit of an aside as well, a couple of people have written things like something won't get done. If I write a comment in there that said, Matt's shit, nothing is going to get done with that comment. I can tell you right now that it's unhelpful. It's an anonymous survey for a reason. If you want to put your name to the survey and you want me to follow up with you around something, I can do that. But you've got separate avenues to basically provide that feedback. You've got your leader, if you're something to do with your leader, go to the next leader. If you're something with them, you've got many people, you've got myself, you've got Richard even in that mix. So don't use it as an opportunity to have a bitch event about someone you don't like and then expect that there's going to be action taken from that. That's not what it's about. So I just want to be really clear about that. But it is there to make sure that we build the business around your feedback and your comment. So I'm really encouraging you to complete it so that we can do that. And it's purely based on an event this time, which is awesome because it means that we can actually direct some money into some of these programs as well.
Yeah, we at the CP support that as well. And like I said, I was here a couple of weeks ago. There wasn't many guys because a lot of people worked late to the business. Hot weather come through, I think.
Sleep is a breakdown.
Sleep's a breakdown. So the culture survey is about your culture. And what I said last time I was here is your culture is what you accept. What you create is your culture. Your culture does not get handed to you from someone outside. The bosses don't come in and say this is your culture. I don't come in and say this is your culture. You tell everybody this is our culture. It's when you look each other in the eye and what you expect from each other, how you treat each other. That's your culture. And you guys have the chance to build that here. By answering the survey, whether it's good or bad, it helps create that culture, move that culture forward, and drive that culture, and keep each other honest. If someone's talking to someone in a way they shouldn't be, you pull them up on it. If someone's taking the piss on a job site, you pull them up on it. Not in a way that's detrimental, but support them to get your culture through how you want it to be, so you want to come here every single day. It's like your home. You've got a culture in your home with your family, the way you treat each other. You should have that here. The way to do that is to put this in this survey. And this is an N-Event only survey, so it's not the summer either. And this is the first place to put it. If you're unhappy about something, write it down. So these guys can see it, tell me. So I can bring it to the management team. If you're happy with things, celebrate it, let them know. A pat on the back's always good, and a kick in the arse is helpful as well.
So just the other real example that directly affects us, that leadership training that we've done, which is probably the most significant investment in the operations team solely outside of the rest of the business, came off the culture survey. There was feedback about leadership. We've then created a course engaging course, we put 130 odd people through, so a third of our, about 40% of our workforce, the field workforce is going through a course based on someone taking the time to go, we are missing something in leadership. So it does, that's a direct impact of what you've done. So that's this comment. I'd also like to point out, I'm going to talk with Ali, that the passion she pointed out to me and said, that shit, that felt a little bit too real for what I need to do on that. So, I'm just going to go one more thing. While you've got Ali and I in the room, is there any questions about anything else that's going on in the business that anybody wants to know? Other than tree cutting. Yeah.
I'll just talk about this really quickly. Does everyone understand the indicative task review that's happening? Yes? Chris does. Good. Thanks, Chris. So everyone knows what an indicative task is? An indicative task is the jobs you do for your role. So if you're a 3A, you do this amount of jobs within that role. If you do more jobs, you get a promotion to another role. Now, in the lining world, 3A is your base, it's your bulk of your skills, and everything else that's a leadership role. Does everyone know when the last time the indicative task review was done? Before computers, yes. 1993 was the last time they decided what you do for your money. Pretty archaic. Things have changed since.
Well, they tried to do it in 2012.
Yeah, they did, and they didn't finish it. So there was that. Yeah, no successful one. So we're doing it now. We've got a committee. Matt sits on the governing committee with myself, Sam Bradley, and Mark Vincent. And we're nearly to a stage where we're going to release the names of the working party, and there's guys in this room will be on that working party. The working party's been chosen, and the people have been approached, and it's not for any other reason than I think that they'll be good to help out to get this through. My intent on this is to make sure that you're not doing too much for your pay grade. If you're doing a bit more, you should probably get a bit more money for that extra task, right? Because you've learned stuff over the last 30 years. So that's in full swing. I think we've got probably 12 months to go on that. So I just want to let you know that is happening. EA is happening this year for those who are aware or unaware. We have another enterprise
been based across like Element and Sackett, or is it?
In the task.
Yeah.
Everything you do is humble, mate. You are up.
Yeah.
You're up.
So we're looking at what the grading Sackett does as opposed to the same grading Element.
Yep. So it's humble. Yep. You're not a separate entity. So yeah, EA is here. We're going to start kicking off that campaign soon. Understanding that the EA runs alongside the indicative task review, they're not combined, they're not together, they won't be put together. The clothing advisory panel runs alongside those as well. There's people on that to do that. So there's a lot happening. Because there's a lot happening, I need support. Here's my plug. So if you're not a CPU member, become one. Because it's really good. And you get really good shit. And Richo's one, so you should be with Richo. Yeah, and if it's possible, can I have a if there's any dramas or anything at all, also like to welcome the apprentice as well. I welcome the industry. These guys will look after you. You'll be alright here. You'll have fun. You may lose money. Well, thanks, guys.
Just one last thing from me. There are a few people missing from the toolbox today, I noticed. So your challenge is to go out and share the message on safety that we've shared with you. And the last thing I want to do is get to one of our lessons learned meeting and have people with blank faces not knowing why they're there. So please go out there and share the message we've shared with you guys and girls.
Enjoy the week. Can I have the union members